spreading it to us.
No, enough of that going around.
All right, with that said, it's 6 o'clock. Might as well get the ball rolling. You all set, Bob?
All set.
Okay, so we'll call the meeting to order and pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with justice for all.
Okay, I'd say public comment, but there's no public, so that's not an issue. Okay, approval of the ZBA's 2020 schedule. That should be right up number 1 in the book. January, well, that's already here. February, I don't think the only issues is gonna be November and December, because those fall on Christmas Eve, December, and that's the day after Thanksgiving, is November 27th. So, it'll be a new board come, February, maybe, I don't know, who's even up, who's up, actually, you know?
I think I'm up in 2020.
Yeah,
Yes.
so it's what, February, March?
Alright, so, I mean, we can revisit, but right now, we need to put what, you know, if it actually knows what we're doing.
Yep.
So, I think we should if everyone's in agreement, I'll make a motion that we move November 27th back a week and December 24th back a week. So that would make the November meeting on,
20th,
should be,
The 19th.
19th.
October, November. It'll be on the 19th, correct.
11, 19.
Yeah, because that Thursday is the 26th, it's Thanksgiving even.
Yeah.
Right.
So, so that make that 11, 19, 20. And then on December, as we all know, Christmas is Friday. So I think we ought to back that up to the 17th. Because if we go the other way, it's going to put us in the new year.
Yeah.
So is everybody in agreement? We go 12, 17, 20?
That sounds good to me.
Either that or bring our presents in on the 26th.
No presents, I'm too old. Do we need to amend the application deadline? Or just for those 2 months, just leave them where they are?
Yeah, you would. Yeah. So I'll take care of that and just send out a whole new schedule for everybody.
Okay. All right, so I'll make a motion to accept the 2000.
A second, all in favor?
Oh, I haven't, you don't know what the motion is yet.
Oh, the first motion.
Oh, okay, that's right, because to move them, okay,
Are you in a
so,
hurry, Larry?
no.
No.
He's correct. I had a motion on the table to move those 2 back. Now I need a second for that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now I'll make a motion to accept all the dates that we have on this page as the 2020 dates. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
What about the application? What about the
They're
application?
gonna take care of that internally.
Okay,
All right.
you get a second.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
we already had the second anyway. And then, on the bylaws, as you know, we just adopted what was existing. We were supposed to go back and, not legally, but I wanted to go back and address what we have. I feel there should be some changes made. I'd really want to talk to this in front of all the members. You know,
They're not here. so-
they're not here, even the people that sit in, alternates. Because that affects everyone.
Can we put those, the changes you're suggesting in writing so that the people know what we're talking about for the next meeting?
We can.
Okay.
I can tell you what I have a concern on.
Okay.
My concern on is attendance. I've had a concern a couple times on it. Other boards have made changes to put dates, I mean, a certain amount of times consecutively or throughout the year. The state recommends that to 676.1, I believe it is. I was looking it all up. That they suggest that you do such a thing. Am I correct, Bruce, with that?
Let me find it.
Try 673.13.
Yeah.
Could be.
673.13 is about removal. of
Removal. I have 676.1 written down here, so I'm thinking,
Let me find it.
676.1 is method of adopting rules of procedure.
The last sentence there says, "The rules of procedure shall include when and how an alternate may participate in meetings of the land use board."
Okay, like I said, I wrote that down for a reason, but in 6...
Basically, what you take away from this is that you write your own rules of procedure.
Correct.
And those rules of procedure are pretty open-ended, except that you probably should follow the template that's contained in the zoning handbook that you just got today. Most boards do include a proviso that talks about unexcused absences, consecutive unexcused absences, and it's up to you how you want to set it, 3, 4.
Well, my thoughts were, and obviously we're not gonna vote on it tonight because, again, I would like to have everybody's input on it, is 3 consecutive unexcused absences or 4 unexcused throughout the year. The board's year, not a calendar year, because, you know, it's, you get voted in March, so.
4 total for the year,
Correct.
not consecutive, but 3
No, 3 consecutive, 4 total.
Yeah.
So that's my suggestion. If Ashley, if you wouldn't mind putting that together in a little memo to everyone, that's what I'm not gonna make a motion or nothing, because I really want everybody, as I say, could have their input in it. Because, last couple months we haven't had any meetings to address any cases, but we had that one case that we couldn't have had a meeting if it wasn't for an alternate, just showing up to see if,
That's right.
and I think it's getting under control, but that's my suggestion. Anyone else on the board want to speak on it?
That, well, all you need do is to read 673.13, which makes in paragraph 1 a distinction between appointed members and alternate members of an appointed board, and then the power of removal for elected members after public hearing and after findings of paragraph 1, inefficiency, neglect of duty, or malfeasance in office.
Correct.
Which is a high standard and is the determination of the Board of Selectmen rather than the viewpoint of the local land use board.
Well, if I may, I feel that's an awful broad swipe of the paintbrush. Because one person may think something that means one thing, another person may think it means something else.
Yeah.
I think it needs to be more simplistic, give more boundaries, and then you're correct, Mr. Brown, that it does go to the select board. If this board was to choose to draw up a letter and ask for the public meeting, for the select board to address it.
Well, I think we need to be pretty specific, because I remember last year, I was in Maine and emailed that I would not be able to be in attendance and thought I was covered, but it turned out that you guys didn't think I had provided an excuse, so, I think, and it wasn't it's not like me to skip meetings if I'm around, so.
No, but I think, I agree with you. I think the more it's black and white, and cut and dry, however you want to put it, you can't say, well, that's not how I read it.
Yeah, well, I think what we need to do is if, for example, if it's not sufficient for me to let the secretary know, then if you think I should call you direct or leave a message on your phone.
Yeah, I think we passed out a paper with everybody's numbers.
Yeah, but for whatever reason, I thought my response to the secretary was sufficient, that I was not going to be able to get there, and that was.
Okay, but again, it addresses consistent, 3 consistent, not
Yeah,
just
yeah,
1, not
whatever.
just 2, 3 consistent, or 4 total for the,
Right, right,
that's just my suggestion.
No, I think that's, at that point in time, after 4 meetings, it's pretty clear.
Yeah.
they're not
They're not
interested
interested in
in
being on the board.
Right. I agree with the chair, that if you don't know where you're going, it's not likely you'll get there. And I think using, more work for Ashley, using her as the pivot point for notification, so that since we don't know over time who the chair may be, and you have your work schedule, and because sometimes you have been some days all the way over in Vermont or whatever.
I'll be in Vermont tomorrow, I'll be in Canada next month, the week of the 15th, snowmobiling up in Gaspé Peninsula, but,
Duly noted.
but again, I wanna have this discussion with everyone, even if it comes to the next board. But
Yeah.
I think it needs to be addressed, and it needs to have it black and white, you know? A perfect example, Mr. Bullo didn't get in touch with me today, but Ashley, and if he's sick, that's excused.
Yeah,
I mean, the
sure.
man's sick,
Yeah.
and that doesn't even enter the picture. That's you know what I mean. This is unexcused absences.
Right.
So I
That's
mean,
the key word.
very few times is really an unexcused absence, really, if you think about it. Humphrey actually called me today and said, you know, I got an appointment I can't miss. Okay,
Yeah.
no problem. So, all right, and he's an alternate to begin
Right,
with, so he's not even required to be here
Exactly.
unless I'd like to have the alternates here for the
Yeah.
next meeting, or if we get, and I might not even have next meeting. It might be after the elections. You know what I mean? But because like I said, I want everybody's input on it.
Sure.
So, all right. So is that kick that ball can down the street enough?
Yeah,
Or?
I think we did.
All right. September 26, 2019 meeting minutes. Has everyone had a chance to look at them? I took a quick look at them.
Yes.
Right here. Yeah, I got them. Let's see here. Do we? Oh, we had Sean was here, Humphrey was here, Steve was here, I was here. Okay, so we can vote on these because we have present a quorum for it. So we basically just voted on minutes just now on them. So,
Yeah.
does anyone have anything they'd like to mention about these changes or anything? No?
I don't.
Someone want a motion to accept them?
So moved.
Speaking to the minutes of September 25th?
Correct.
Yeah, I would be abstaining as I was not there.
Okay.
And I was in Maine, absolutely unaware of what week I was in. And I...
You had fallen down drunk again, Larry?
No,
Come
no.
on.
Wow.
No, it was, I occasionally, I've done that twice, when the first day of the planning board is the first Tuesday of the month, and that's too damn early to have a planning board meeting. But anyway, I think one of the things that the chair did not mention in the earlier discussion, and this has to do with the minutes, is the difference between accident, inattention, malice, and disrespect. And I think if you get into an issue of malice and disrespect, then it becomes quite different than the accident of time and chance in the telephone.
I agree, and I think if it goes, the motion passes and when everyone's around and it gets changed, that the language will be as such that it will also say that in there, plus amount of days and so forth. All right?
If you
Mr. Chairman, are you directing your staff representative to take a stab at doing a draft?
Since he offered.
Well, I kind of thought that would be what you want to do.
Well, I don't know if again, I want everybody's input. So if you think it's too early to do that, fine. If you think,
No, I mean, for people to work on getting the language better, we gotta have a starting point.
All right.
The starting point really should be a first draft.
okay, so that works for me, but, okay, so that can's been kicked, like I said. So let's get back to the minutes. we have a motion on the table to accept the minutes as written by Steve, I believe.
Right.
Second by Sean.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And abstain.
Unless someone else has anything else to mention or say or complain about, we can entertain an adjournment.
Just the fact that you have your new 2019 zoning board handbook in your binders. There have been changes made to certain sections of the statute, and so they've made changes to the handbook in various places, even over last year's handbook. So that is your Bible.
Does the town planner wish to so to speak, tell us when Ice Out will be in Winnipesaukee, and that is when they will change the name of the agency again?
You know, that's an amazing thing right there. I always thought that OSI stood for something to do with secret stuff in the Air Force. But I guess I was wrong. It all depends on the governor, as you know.
I was just going through this handbook, very nice handbook that actually put together, thank you very much. My suggestion to the members here, take out the stuff you need, but I'm gonna leave the zoning board of adjustments bylaws. I'm gonna leave in there, number 4, all that zoning board of adjustments in the Hampton handbook, because that's something we'll probably look at every week. You know what I mean? So I'm just gonna take out the smaller stuff that we basically put our fingerprints on this tonight, and that's that.
Okay.
And you can toss the schedule, so I'll do any
Alright.
and send that out.
Do you still have in your handbook, in your binders, I'm gonna call it a cheat sheet for the variance, which explains.
I passed that all out at the beginning of this year.
Yeah.
Everyone, all that stuff, I had a few things I passed out.
Yep.
I don't know if everyone's kept them. That's their business, whether or not they did or not, but,
You should get a blank one of that for when you have a variance case, whenever a case comes before
Right.
you. Because one of the things that the courts look for when you make a decision are real findings. So there should be written findings by every member on those sheets. We should collect them. From that, we craft and prepare the notice of decision, which has those findings and pertinent facts on it for every case.
well, I don't expect we're gonna have a case before the elections. You know, March. I doubt we'll have one next month. I don't think February's really been a big month for ZBA. So we'll
I can
probably,
put a blank copy in
yeah,
there,
we
though, in the
we'll
back.
probably put something in a package together for that. Might be a new member, might not, I don't know.
Right.
I'm just
You never
saying.
know.
So,
Right.
all right, so I'll entertain it, all right, one more thing?
Before that, just for the record, since we have the cameras and the public, I actually put these together. Also have one for the planning board. It is elegant and complete work, and it should go out to the public that you've done it.
Thank you.
And it gets reused every
Yes, so
month.
please leave them.
Yes. So, once again, I'll
Can I
entertain.
raise a question?
Sure.
Bruce, the new book versus the old, there've been some changes, obviously. Do you consider them substantive, and are there areas that we might look at, in your judgment, that warrant us reviewing? Because of,
One of the things you shouldn't do is throw the old book away.
yep,
Oh, I never do.
And the other thing that we should do is, we should go to page Romans 7, and that is the listing of sections that were affected by the 2019 legislation.
okay.
So it lists every RSA that has been either enacted and added, or amended, or removed. The bill number, the act number, and the article, and the act section. So this time, unlike last time, it's more than 2 pages.
Well,
Last time it was less than a page.
Right.
So it was a very active legislature with regard to changing RSAs. And when you look at that second sheet on Roman 8, you'll see that the planning RSAs, starting at RSA 672, and then going all the way to 676, there have been a lot of amended sections. So when you get a chance, take a look at each one of those and stack that up against the 2019 planning board.
A lot of repeal too.
Yeah,
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so I'll entertain, unless someone else has something else, all right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Well, we need a first.
Oh, first,
First and second.
He's already gonna do it.
All in favor?
Aye.
And that's it, folks.